Hey everyone, I'm Raresh and welcome to this 5-part series where I'm going to build a fully functional AI community agent for Discord using the Lua platform. Before we dive into the code and configuration, I want to start with this high-level overview, and this diagram is our roadmap. Let's walk through how this architecture maps to the upcoming videos. So it all starts here on the left. In part 1 of the series, we're going to focus purely on the what. We won't look at the code yet, instead we'll jump straight into Discord. I'll show you the finished agent in action, how users interact with it, how it handles forum posts, replies to mentions, and sends welcome DMs. You'll basically see the final product experience. And then you're probably wondering, how does the agent actually hear what's happening in Discord? And in part 2, we're going to build this bridge. The Lua agent doesn't listen to Discord, so you basically need an app that does listen to Discord's real-time events directly. So we look at this bot.ts scripts. It's a simple listener hosted on fly.io, and its whole job is to catch events from Discord and forward those requests to our agent. So once the requests hit the Lua platform, the real magic happens. This is the core of our series. In part 3 and 4, we are deep diving into the agent itself, the brain, and the logic. We'll configure its persona, we'll build the skills and tools it needs to manage community knowledge, we'll set up automations like cron jobs for weekly tips, and webhooks for new members. We'll use preprocessors to handle things like rate limiting before the agent thinks, and formatting links after it speaks. We'll also connect the agent's brain to external data, showing how it retrieves live documentation via an MCP server, and how it uses Lua's built-in custom data and user APIs for long-term memory storage. So finally, once this entire architecture is running smoothly, in video part 5, I'm show you how to take the specific skills you've built and publish them to the Lua marketplace so others can use them. So yeah, keep this full picture in your mind as we go through the series, and let's get started with part 1. So, and always remember, you'll find the full Discord agent here on our public GitHub repository. The link is going to be down in the description or along with this message wherever this video is going to be posted. That's it. Thank you.
In these videos, I'm going to showcase all the major features that the Lua platform has to offer, and that is, of course, an agent, for which we are going to define a persona related to our Discord community, which we are going to add Discord community skills that's going to be able to save posts and search posts and help user with reminders, and that's going to be done through tools. And then we are going to showcase all the other features like webhooks, jobs, processors, and MCP servers. So first of all, I think I'm going to show you how the end product looks like. So let's go ahead and jump to Discord, and let me join a server where the Lua bot actually works. So yeah, let me join the server. And once I join it, the first thing that you're going to notice is that I already got a DM from Lua, which is a nice welcome message to the Lua community, quick start information, core concepts, development flow, and etc. etc. One thing that I can do now is actually talk to Lua and ask, hey Lua, what can you tell me about the CDN API? That's one way to talk to bot agent, but the main reason is going to be where it resides on the server. There we go. Lua came back to an answer, and you'll see that it references basically it's a response that it searched through the Lua docs, and it did that through the MCP server that connects the Lua docs with the agent. Now let me go ahead and jump to the server. One way to talk to Lua is to go in any channel and then say mention Lua, because I've only allowed it to respond when it's mentioned. And there we go. What can you tell me about Lua webhooks? And let's just do another message. Hey Lua, how are you? You're going to notice that this message already got a response, but this one will not get a response. There we go. Some information on how webhooks work. One thing that you can also do is I will allow actually the bot to get a response for every message that I type on the Ask Lua channel, which can be any other channel that you want. You just have to name it in the environment variables. And then we've got the weekly tips channel, where we are actually showcasing the jobs feature, where the bot is going to have a job and post this channel every Monday at 9 a.m. with some quick Lua tips. But now let me show you the main feature that's actually for this agent, and that's the forum one, where it's actually when I'm going to create a post, let's say, help, I am having issues with my Lua webhooks. Hey guys, please let me know how the webhooks work. How do I get the body of the webhook? And you're going to notice as soon as I post this, Lua is going to go ahead through all the posts that have been already resolved and search for a similar answer. If there's one, if there's none, it will just try to provide you with an answer from the docs. And there we go. It came out with an answer from the docs, and yeah, nice and easy. Now I can go ahead and ask Lua test mark this as resolved, which is actually going to close the thread, and it's going to save the information in the database so that future users, when they open a similar questions, we are not going to have duplicates. It's going to answer, hey, this issue has actually already been resolved. You can go ahead and mark this as resolved or something like that. So yeah, that's the main features that we are going to develop, and it's really easy and really fast. And yeah, stay tuned in the next part. And now we're going to look actually at the code that connects to the Discord API. Discord offers a WebSocket API to which we have to connect, and you'll get all the events that you actually subscribe to. And this is a script or simple application that you'll have to actually write and deploy separately from the agent, because the agent cannot directly connect to the Discord API because it runs through a WebSocket. But I've already added all the necessary infrastructure that you need for this to actually deploy on fly.io with one simple command. So let's have a look at what it does, because what it essentially does, it just captures the events from this code and just sends them to your Lua agent, to our HTTP API. So if you go ahead and look at the forward message with context method, you're going to see that all the events that we forward are a DM. You've seen me actually talk to the agent through DMs and then through mentions. I've already mentioned that you can actually only talk to the Lua bot if it's mentioned and on any channel, or if it's the Ask Lua channel or Ask Lua thread, it will respond anytime. And then it's going to work when you create a new forum post or when a forum post is marked as resolved. And then one more important thing that we actually need is how do we handle users, right? Because the Lua bot is going to live on the server. It's going to be active in a thread where multiple users are active, multiple users respond. So we've got multiple options, right? When we actually consume the Lua agent through a DM, how I consumed it first time in the video before, I'm going to actually create a user that's using my Discord author ID. If it's actually used in a thread that's on a server, it's actually going to have a collaborative memory, which is going to be across the entire channel ID, right? So the agent will have all the entire message history that has been used on that thread. And then if we are inside a channel and the user is asking, for example, on the Ask Lua channel, a question Lua, it's also going to be per user context. Now, that's essentially what this script does. It's just a bunch of code that captures the events from Discord and just forwards them to Lua. And that's simply it. Now, if you have a look at the file structure, let's go ahead and do that. You'll see here that I have a Docker file and a fly.toml file. You just need the fly.io CLI, and you just go ahead and do fly deploy, and you're going to deploy this script and it's going to run, so you don't have to worry about that. You just need to provide a couple of environment variables, which are like the Lua API URL, so how we are actually going to use the agent, the webhook, and a couple like what's the name where you want your agent to respond every time, how do you mark a forum thread as resolved, and all that stuff. Now let me actually show you how we actually consume the agent, which is through the generate API. You can also use the stream one, but in this case, I just want the entire response and reply to it if that's the case, like send a message via Discord. And I'm just using this chat generate and my agent ID endpoint. And I'm also providing some runtime context, which is the current context. For example, what's the current channel that's being used, what's the current user, and stuff like that. And I'm also providing some env variables. that are specific to this request only, which is the entire Discord context, which holds the channel, the server, the author, the message, if it's a thread or not, and all this stuff. And now it's the fun part begins with our actually looking at our agent implementation. And there we have it. It's called the Lua Community Assistant. It's got a simple and easy persona that can be configured to be a lot more complex, or actually even simpler, because the agent doesn't do much really, right? And we've got the personality, some explanation on how we forward the events from the bot.ts file, what it comes from other application, how to respond. For example, if the response contains code, just wrap it in code blocks because Discord supports that, for example, right? And then we've got our skill, which is called the community skill, our MCP server, which is the Lua Docs MCP server, where the agent actually looks for how Lua CLI works. We've got the new member webhook that sends a notification when someone joins the server. We've got the weekly tip job that gets executed every Monday at 9 a.m. And we've got two preprocessors. One is the rate limiter. A user can actually send, for example, in this case, 5 messages per minute or something like that. I forgot to the bot. And then we've got our analytics preprocessor, which just records some data for analytics in the future, for example. And then a post processor that just adds links if it detects keywords, right? Links to the docs. And yeah, let's go ahead and start with the community skill, which contains four tools. One is the save post tool. So when a post is marked as resolved, it's going to actually save that to the database. Search post tool, when a new post is created, is going to search the database and let the user know that there's a similar post, or if there's none. And set a reminder tool, when you can actually ask Lua to set a reminder for you. One is the thing that showcases a dynamic job. And mark resolve tool, that will you can just ask the agent to mark the post as resolved for you, and that's going to trigger the other tool that's going to save the post. We've also got our contact that simply explains what the tools are, how they can be used. So let's jump ahead in the save post tool. And what I'm going to show you here, it's the only important part. It's the execute function that uses the custom data API with a key resolve post, where it actually saves the post, right? The post has like a title, a question, and yeah, most importantly, a solution, because that's going to be needed for future when we actually search for a post. And the search post tool, you notice the only important thing in here is it uses again the custom data API with the same key, resolve post, where it actually searches. It does a semantic search, a vector search based on a query, which in this case is like the post title and the post content, for example, right? And if it gets a hit, it's going to respond to the user, hey, I found a similar post. This question is already answered. You can mark this as resolved. And then we've got a simple set reminder tool that just gets a message and when the reminder needs to come in. And this showcases the dynamic jobs, right? You can create an inline job that's going to execute in this example only once. And it's going to get executed at, for example, in the next 5 minutes, in the next 10 minutes, when the user asks the bot that it wants to receive the reminder. So yeah, that showcases the dynamic jobs API. And then we've got the mark resolve tool, which just where it is, it gets no input actually. Someone just mentions the Lua in a thread in a forum, and what's nice here, it's a feature called condition, which means that this tool it's only going to be present in the request if the current request is inside a thread and if the trigger is a mention. So only if the Lua bot was mentioned inside a thread, basically inside the post, the tool is going to exist. And that's it for the community skill. Next part, I'm going to actually present the rest of the features, like the webhook, the job, and the processors. Now we're going to talk about webhook, job, the static job, the preprocessor, the post-processors, and how to add the MCP server. So let's start with the webhook, which is really, really simple. It just gets some data that it needs to send a DM. We've got a message, that's a static message. We've got the bot token that we need to actually send a DM, and we just use our Discord service that just uses the Discord API to send DMs, manage threads, manage messages and stuff like that. It's really simple, nothing exciting in there. How actually the webhook is used, I'm going to show you right now. This is the pattern. I've got the webhook URL, which is webhook.heylua.ai. I've got my agent ID that you can find in your YAML file, which it's right here. It's called the agent ID. And then I've got the webhook name, or you can also use webhook ID. So let's look at the webhooks. I got my new member webhook, which has an ID and also a name. You can use either of those. It works exactly the same. And then we can go to our weekly tip job, which it's really simple. It defines a cron job expression every Monday at 9 a.m. It needs, of course, the bot token again to post on the channel. It needs a channel ID to know where to post the message. And then we've got an array of tips. I'm not going to show you right now, just some random text. And then we are going to, again, use the Discord service to send the message to the channel. That's it. As simple as it gets. Then we've got something more exciting, which is the pre-processors and the post-processors. And there we have the rate limiter pre-processor first. And the purpose of this is to allow only 5 messages per minute per user, right? And for that, we actually use the user instance that we get on the execute function. We save the current timestamp and for every message that we get, right? And once we get 5 messages and it's in a time span of 1 minute, we are actually going to block the response, right? Here it is. And we're going to receive a message like this. Slow down, you've sent 5 messages in the last minute. It's simple. And then we've got the analytics preprocessor, which has actually a lower priority, which is priority 10. It's going to run after the rate limiter. And it basically just uses the user instance. One important thing that it does, if the current user instance doesn't have the Discord ID saved on it, it saves it. And besides that, it just saves a bunch of analytics that we could use in the future. And then we've got a post processor, which also has a priority, but it's the only one in this case, so I haven't defined it. And what this does, it just uses regex to search for a pattern, which in this case could be, for example, a Lua skill, and then it's going to attach the docs to the message, right? And yeah, that's simply it. We just, if you find the topic inside the message, we attach the doc link and then we return the modified response. And then we've got the MCP server, which we've got only one server, and it's server sent event type and uses our MCP server for the docs. And yeah, that's it. Let me go back to the index file and show you how all these are defined. We've got the skill, the MCP server, the webhooks, the job, the preprocessor, and the post processor. And that's it. Those are all the building blocks of our agent. And now I'm going to show you how to publish this agent on the marketplace. This is the last part of the series, and it's going to be a short one because I'm actually just going to show you how you can currently publish a skill on the marketplace. And in this case, we are going to publish our community skill on the marketplace. So anyone can actually install this skill and use it for the agent, right? If anyone wants to implement this agent, it can just go ahead, use the marketplace, install the skill. It has to do nothing besides that. So let's go ahead, and I'm currently in my directory where my agent resides, where my YAML file resides, and I can just do Lua marketplace. And I'm going to select as a creator. I am going to select list a new skill on the marketplace. And I am going to list the community skill. And while we wait, I have to enter a display name for it. Lua Discord community skill. And the skill is currently listed on marketplace. And yeah, that's it. It's listed on marketplace, but it's not installable yet. In order for it to be installable by users, I have to actually publish a version of it. So let's go ahead and publish a version. Publish a new version of a skill. I'm going to publish a Lua Discord community skill. And there we go. It detected I've got already 4 versions on it. Let's go ahead and publish the latest version. I have to enter a changelog. I'm just going to say version 4, latest 1, something like that. I am have to provide environment variables that need to be provided. In this case, let's hit add a new env variable. It detected for my local.env file that the Discord bot token needs to be provided. So I'm going to click enter. A description for the bot token, your bot token from the Discord developer portal. Is this required? Yes, this is required for the agent to actually work. And an example value of, yeah, ABC 1, 2, 3. And yeah, that's it. I think I've actually got one more required env variable, but we can skip that for the moment. I just click finish and continue, and that's going to publish the version on the marketplace. You'll notice that it's not actually available yet because it has been submitted for review, and once it's reviewed, it's going to be installable by the users. So let's go ahead and now look at my listed skills. There we go. I've got my Lua Discord community skill. It's listed. It has one version published. No one has installed it yet, and it has one variable configured. Let's go ahead and continue. I can now, for example, unpublish a version. For example, it becomes deprecated. I don't want people to install it anymore. And I can just go ahead and select it. Do you want to unpublish this? Yes, go ahead, and that's it. I then can go ahead and republish it, for example. Let's say I change my mind. And there we go. There it is. Actually, I've chosen the wrong skill. That's another skill I've developed. Let's go ahead and choose my actual. Oh, actually, because I've unpublished the version, it was the only version active. My skill was also delisted from the marketplace. So I have to go and list it again, right? It's not there anymore because it has no version active, and I can just relist it. Because I've listed in the past, I can just go ahead and say enter because all my configuration is still there, and I can now go ahead and publish a version of it. And there we go. It's loading, and I can republish the same version, right? It will remember my changelog, for example. I can just go hit again. It remembers my env variable, finish and continue, and yeah, that's it. That's currently it. And for someone to actually install this skin, it just gets to go ahead and select as an installer. You can just install a skill from the marketplace. You can browse and select. Let's search for like community. And there we go. It's my Discord community skill. And let's hit enter. And of course, I cannot install it because it's the same agent. I already had it. But that's how you would actually install it. You'll just have to provide the env variable. So yeah, thank you for watching these videos, and I hope that makes your life easier on developing an agent on the Lua platform.